Hello YouTube, I'm Sarah, and today I'm going to be doing a review of sorts for the Decemberists' latest album, What a Terrible World, What a Beautiful World. They open this album, they open it with a track called The Singer Addresses His Audience. This is literally a cheek-filled address to the listener. It's not subtle. But in case I'm making it sound bad, it's not. It's actually pretty fantastic. What the Decemberists have done is they've attempted to diffuse this notion that this album is going to sound like their previous albums. And this is an issue that a lot of bands face once they go from obscurity to fame. When they're obscure, no one cared, you know? But once you have some fame, you have that double-edged sword that's being loved by your fans. And your fans, while they are fantastic people, they're the only reason why you have any notoriety at all. They're also going to be the most critical people. The people who are the first to say they sold out. The people who really, sort of rightly so, don't want their favorite band to change all that much. And the Decemberists naturally respond to this challenge with song. They sing, "We knew you grew your arms around us in the hopes we wouldn't change, but we had to change some."
To change some, you know, to belong to you.
Now, the Decemberists also acknowledge that there is a certain bond between a fan and a band, that they do, in a sense, belong to each other. And then they do this by singing "We belong to ya" / "to belong to ya" 10 times over. This track is also really good at poking fun at itself, and the idea of what the Decemberists are supposed to sound like. It's like a pep talk almost, getting rid of that apprehensive, judgmental feeling that you might have when you first listen to a new album. It lets you know that whether or not the rest of the album is a disappointment or a triumph, that this track will have perfectly portrayed the challenges that the band faces when trying to create their 7th studio album. Now, I'd like to take a minute to discuss how hard it is to produce 7 studio albums, to keep the band together for that long, and to produce consistently good and interesting music. Let's take a look at some arguably influential and amazing rock bands. The Clash, 6 albums. The Velvet Underground, 5 albums. The Eagles, 7 albums, but the 7th was in 2007, which means for 28 years they were at 6. The Sex Pistols, 1 amazing album, but 1. One of the greatest rock bands of all time, Led Zeppelin. They had 9 studio albums, but number 7 was Presence. And Creedence Clearwater Revival had 7 albums, but Tom Fogerty had left after the 6th album, and the 7th is seen as kind of a last-ditch effort to keep things together. Now, this is not to say that this album is doomed. There's a flip side to this coin, right? We've got the Beatles, 12 studio albums, and number 7 is Revolver. So, while we all have things we really love about the Decemberists, this is their first studio album since November of 2011, and they had to change some. For a full review, please click the link below. It'll take you to the Can I May I website, and the lovely Rob Bachman